That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, podcast live from here. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast, the only real one, and all the known land. This is time for the point. It's nice to see you all. Today I got a very special guest. It's Miss Rose Mulet, and I want to start the show off. Welcome to the show, Rose. But I want to start it off by reading a tweet that I wrote. I guess a year ago. Is that the case? Rose, you've been. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Bet you guys didn't think you'd see me again, huh?
No, I didn't think. Well, it's funny. I wrote this, and you tweeted it, and I think it's funny. And you wrote "turning the impossible into reality." You wrote this. I wrote. I don't remember. You're gonna have to tell me what it's about. This is why.
I will.
Yeah, because I don't remember this. This is why you'll never be on, Rose. You seem to think transphobes are above being goofed on. Nobody is. You know I'm not phobic or hateful. I've treated you well. You've drank the woke Kool-Aid, and it makes you no fun. This show is fun. Loosen up. Life will get better. I meant that bottom part, like not sarcastically though. I wanna like be clear on that. That I wasn't actually being sarcastic about that. I just think, like, in general, if you just loosen up and let some things slide. So what was that about? What happened between you, me, and you then?
Yeah, so I agree with you about the having fun part. I think you made a video about Blair White, and like part of the video you were making some comments about like if you were... I don't remember. I don't want to misquote you because it was so long ago.
I might have said something a while, but go ahead.
Something about her being trans, I think, like... I don't even remember if like she was like at a bar, you wouldn't like... she made some weird comments. I don't remember.
You don't remember either? Oh, that's funny. The funny thing is, I've never criticized.
I have to rewatch the clip.
I don't think I've ever. I've only criticized Blair for being a grifter. I don't think I've ever criticized her for anything trans related. You know, I mean, technically, we're on the same.
Overreaction.
Yeah, technically, we're on the same team.
I'd have to watch the clip, honestly. Like, I mean, I made that comment like 8 months ago, so
there's been a big...
I just thought it was funny. You said, I'll never be on. And
yeah, well, all right.
I always find a way.
All right, so this is why I know, and I don't know if you believe me or not, but I saw this from Destiny's feed.
Yes.
And you did an interview with Vosh. How did that come about?
Okay, so long story short, this time last year, I interviewed Mr. Girl, long story. Months later, Mr. Girl became a staple on Destiny stream, completely unrelated to other stuff, right?
Sure.
So when he was on Destiny, I was like, wait, he literally just emailed Destiny and he was able to get on? So I was like, wait, why don't I try that and be like, here's my resume, here's the other people like I've interviewed, like Xander Hall, Mr. Girl, Augie, and all those people. And I was like, okay, that'll get me on the door. And so he thought it was interesting. I did an interview with like Destiny, has like 170,000 views on his channel. Sure. And then after that, I was like, okay, time to go to Vosh. It's like, will he respond? And I wrote him an email. I got on, and he's like, wow, we disagree on pretty much everything. This is going to be a very interesting debate.
What was the pretext, though? Go rewind a little bit. What was the pretext of you disagreeing on anything? Was it? Like, I want to get then before this moment. Like, was there some kind of like ideological transition? I hate to use that word. Like, what happened between the time me and you were kind of having it out and now? Like, what happened?
You know, it's kind of funny because politically, I've always been all over the place. Like, there was a time, I know I mentioned in August stream once, there was a time in like 2019 where it was like, I'm getting canceled online. Oh, I guess I'm like an alt-righter or whatever. And then like the next year I was like, I'm a leftist now. I'm like, I don't even know. I go through these weird phases.
You were being a dumb kid is basically what a lot
of
people.
Basically.
You had an identity.
I thought I knew everything.
Hey, Rose, you had an identity crisis. You know,
yeah.
But that's no. I mean, that's not unusual.
Buy my axe.
It's not unusual for teenagers to have identity crisis, I guess. So like now you're like, I don't want to put words in your mouth and say like you're in the red pill or you're conservative. I'm not conservative. I don't even consider myself a conservative. But by everybody on the like, kind of left standards, I'm like I might as well be a Nazi or fascist or something like that. That's what I think. But there's obviously something really changed, because I didn't know this was you when I played it. But boy, I mean, I don't think anybody has owned him, and he's lost debates before as much as you did. And the way you did it was just doing what you're doing now, just having a conversation. You guys got to check this out.
And I hear you say a lot of like really like crazy big statements. Like there's just going to be this awful thing happening. Like I feel like there's a lot of fear mongering, and it just I don't feel like it's warranted. I think if you look at the news, like you can point to these certain things happening. Yeah, this is a bit scary. This isn't, but we're going to be okay. Democracy's not going anywhere.
This is like you're first to die. You know that, right? Like this attitude of complacency.
The genocide's coming. I'm being locked up in a camp. Oh no.
No, in this case, it would be.
I should be worried more than anybody. If I'm not worried, what does that say?
It would be it would say.
That was murder. That was murder. That was murder on live television, and it almost feels like he was trying to force you into his ideology with that statement. Through fear.
It's like people.
Yeah,
they get so mad when you don't buy into their narrative.
Do you find that happening a lot? I mean, I kind of got that impression from you when I met you, which is why I didn't have you back on. And not only that, like I did a video on you. I forget exactly what we did. It was something about a video you made on Augie or something like that.
Yes.
And then I had you on, and then I thought we had a moment. You know what I mean?
We did.
I thought we had a moment. I thought like, look, not everybody's out to get you. I'm not out to get you. I'm just here for laughs. I'm here to make you laugh. But you know what? That means everybody gets it. That means I get it. That means you get it. That means everybody gets it. I thought you got that. And then there was a couple DMs that were kind of strange between us. Not that I don't want to give the audience a weird impression here, but they were just kind of strange. It's like you didn't get it. And you got to be honest, like from what I've seen with cancel culture, when a lefty doesn't get it, look out. Look out. It's funny. Like you say, a centrist. I don't think I heard a centrist even in that. Centrist. I hate that word because.
Can I tell you?
I think I heard a person. Just like a regular person. Go ahead.
So first of all, when he titled it that, like I had nothing to do with the title. Basically, I sent him an email, be like, "Hey, here's a list of stances. I want to debate inquiry. If you want to do this, go ahead." And so he basically chose that title based on my list of stances. I even said to myself, like, "Wait a second, hold on. I wouldn't call myself a centrist." I think I even say at some point in the debate, like, I don't know if I'm a centrist.
Okay.
But that's just how Vosh thought I was. But it's like, my political views are so complicated that it's like, you talk to me for a bit, you realize you can't really put me in like a box like that.
Well, that's what I figured out. Like, I think people almost feel forced, like when I was a teenager, I have to be an Irish American, Republican, Catholic. And, you get to be like 23, 24. Like, that's all bullshit. I remember... I went to and I was glad I went. Like, I went to the St. Patrick's Day parade, and I realized, a lot of this stuff is just political. It's basically the Irish telling, like, the police department, basically making sure the mayor knows that we're in charge, and it's hidden under this veil of, Irish pride. No, it was a political movement. I'm seeing it in real time. Rudy Giuliani was there, and what have you. So it's not really about pride in one ethnic identity. It's stupid. I'm American. That's the way I see it. What do you do with the criticism? Now, I'm not gonna let you off totally easy. I have heard that you flip flop all the time, that you're all over the place, and this is just you're just trying to get into a new graft, like, which in some sense, like in some sense, like, you want to be an influencer. That's clear. I think that's fair to say, right?
Everybody on YouTube does. Don't be acting like, oh my God, you want views? Like, you're posting videos on YouTube. Do you want no one to see them?
Yes, I agree with that. But we do know that some people go into politics that don't believe it, that will say anything, that will scold anybody. We do know those people are out there for sure. And I'm asking you right now. I'm putting you on record right now. Are you that? Am I talking to the real Rose now, or will I be talking to a communist Rose in 6 months? I'm asking.
No, I won't be communist. I promise you. And that's the funny thing. People have said this about me, but like when I talk to people, I've had so many debates. Mm-hmm. It's like I even think when Vosh talked to me, it was like, he even said, like, I do genuinely think that she believes the stuff that she's saying. Like, people obviously have this impression of me, but I think when you sit down, and like the last time I talked to you, I think you even said at the end, like, oh wow. Rose seemed actually surprisingly genuine.
Well, here's the thing. Time will tell.
Doesn't buy it, but whatever.
yeah, well, you can't do anything about that. Nobody believes me either. But it's like time will tell. I mean, time will tell. I mean, God, everybody grifts to a certain extent. And I guess people are accusing you of doing the Blair White grift now. But Blair kind of floats into that as well. Are you a fan of Blair White?
It's actually funny. I made 2 videos about her. Like, I will 100% defend her, like, being, a trans woman and having her opinions and the right to express them. The problem is, like, she literally makes videos about, look at this trans woman being a predator. And I'm like, maybe that's not the smart idea to make these people famous. Like, come on.
We've covered that, too. We also, I seem to remember Nick going over a thing where she accused, I think it was a fighter or a weightlifter, that was lifting in the woman's class or something like that, and it just didn't happen. It didn't happen the way she did. Yeah, and she came on her. Like, but I have a problem with that too. I mean, I don't think that biological males and females should compete in anything other than fucking poker, and chess and things like games. I do have a real problem with that. We can have that discussion if you want, but I also think it's really not fair to sit there and say that some trans woman was beating the hell out of all these girls, and it didn't happen. And she didn't do, what was it, Matt? She didn't do anything to correct that. Is that correct?
I don't think so. I maybe she made a video, maybe she made a correction about it. I can't remember. I can't recall.
Yeah, that was my problem. So she's not off the hook either. So yeah, you want to be an online personality. Okay. This is probably, I guess we could clearly say the Vosh moment is kind of your biggest moment, and I could tell you're excited. You really wanted to be on here, and I guess you want to prove to people that this is the new you.
Yes.
Well, you are 21. I mean, people just
22.
I'm sorry, 22. So people do change a lot. So, what is the plan going forward? I mean, are you going ultra right wing, or are you just going to be Rose Mulet?
I mean, it's so funny when people say this stuff. Like, I feel like I've evolved a lot as a person. So it's like, I mean, you've talked to me like once a year ago, and it's like people are like, "Oh, you're not exactly the same person you were," and it's like, I'm sorry, I don't buy this. It's like, I think like Augie and stuff in the year since I made the video and then posted it, like, you guys are allowed to change, but it's like I can't change.
Sure.
Like, I think that there are some aspects to me, like, I've always kind of remained similar, but it's like when people look at me, I feel like they look at me through a lens. Like, they want to put me in this box so badly, they'll overlook like certain aspects of myself. Like,
well, I think people have a right to be skeptical. I don't think you would disagree with that.
You can be skeptical.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, time will tell. If it's just like this, like, I think no matter, like, even if you were to change political line, let's say you move back to left a little bit, right? As long as you like left, like, yeah, I'm moving to left. I believe the next, like, let's say Gavin Newsom's running for president. I was like, really support this guy. But oh no, you're just SJW. Like, no, I'm not. I'm for Gavin Newsom, but I'm not for cancel culture and anything other things I stand, the authoritarian stuff before. But I'm, pushing for Gavin Newsom or something like that. I think your problem will be if you start shaming and pointing at people and saying you need to be off platform or stuff like that, or even suggesting that they're deplorable or evil or something like that if they say something like edgy. And I guess transitioning from edgy, I guess you said something interesting. I almost didn't believe it when I sent it to AC because I kept AC off because I thought he was going to make fun of you too much, and I wanted our first conversation to go easy.
Cool.
Yeah, I wanted to because he would eat you alive because that's what I have him on for. I have him on he's one of my my dogs. But you wrote this, and I said, it's complicated because Tommy used to think I was an SJW because I made a video calling out his friends for being edgy. Truth is, I'm just as edgy, if not more than they were. So I'm more of a hypocrite for making that video. All right, was that a hard thing to write? Doesn't seem it. And then, by the way, AC wrote, "Yo, freaking epic red pill alert."
I really sat down and thought a lot about myself, and it's like, there are some things I said in that video where it's like, okay, maybe I think that these people went a bit far, but it's like, I think people got the wrong impression because like people see a video like that and they think, oh, you're trying to deplatform them. Oh, you think they're terrible people. That's not what I thought. Like, I was always like, obviously, if there was a reason I was watching a random Nicholas Diorio second channel stream. I wouldn't be doing that if I wasn't like a fan of these channels.
Gotcha.
I've been making commentary videos. It was more of like, hey, you know, this is some behavior in the community I don't necessarily agree with, but it's like people. I can understand now when you make a video like that, people are totally going to assume the worst, and it's like I don't even blame them for doing so because it's like based on the video that I made, like I think it does come off. And you know, like I said, that's a video I wouldn't make now. And even when I made the video like 6 months before I posted. There was a reason why I waited so long. I didn't even want to post it. That some random person is like, hey, why didn't you make this? I bet you didn't even make a video. And I was just like, okay, fine, whatever. Bad decision. But you know what? It all worked out in the end.
Sure,
so.
yeah, I suppose. Well, you got a long road ahead of you, too, because this is not easy stuff. AC stands for ass, and I'll let you decide what the C means. Okay, thank you, AC. $5. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you know, here's the way. I like if you're bullshitting me right now and you become a big ass shit, I don't care. Whatever. You do what you got to do. But I'll give you the benefit of the doubt until I see, you know, I suppose anything else, you know. And yeah. Well, go ahead, Matt.
Well, what I remember about the situation is that you made a video on everybody being edgy and how wrong it is, and then there was evidence of you being pretty edgy. That
What did
everyone
I
called
say,
you a
though?
hypocrite. We called her a hypocrite.
Okay.
We were pretty nice. Our whole thing was like not to make fun of her, like not to make fun
Super
of her,
appreciate that.
but make fun of what she's doing.
What she said. Well, that's what we usually do. I'm not saying I've never taken a pot shot at anybody. Certainly not.
Yeah.
But that's what we usually do.
One of the bits in the video was she was criticizing Nicholas Diorio because people donated the N-word, and they donated N-I-G. You know, they just donated
the N-word
letters.
towers. All right. Yeah.
N-word, like that was one of her criticisms, and we kind of were like, okay.
I guess what I don't get, and I'm sure, like when I see something like that, I think, what a stupid bunch of childish kids. And where other people, and maybe you can explain this to me, see danger, like literal danger. I don't see the danger. Do you know what I guess that bothered you at the time? Like, how do you feel about it now? Maybe you feel the same way.
When it comes to this, I was thinking about this because, you know, when you said you want to do this call with me, I started really thinking about the situation. I think it's that everyone has a line. It's like, obviously,
that was your line.
You know, even those edgy people
I have a line too.
are like,
I do.
yeah,
I agree.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's human, right? I think at the time, my line was like a little bit, you know, it wasn't where it needed to be.
It's a big line.
And I needed to adjust the lie. Like, okay, like that doesn't mean, oh my God, you're this racist, horrible. I think I went way too hard. The more I've learned about Nicholas Diorio, I genuinely don't think the stuff that I thought about him. And honestly,
I can honestly say he's not anti-trans. I can attest to that.
Yeah, we can attest to that.
You know,
he was really. I did a panel with him. I didn't even know he was going to be on. He probably didn't even know I was going to be on. I was like, oh no, is this going to be a problem?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were on a panel just the other day, and he was just like, you know, I don't want to, you know, speak about this stuff. I was totally unprepared. And I was like, you know what? Good for you. Because, like, if you want to talk to me 2 years ago, I would have been like, oh, I would have had all these opinions and all of this stuff. But he was, like, very, I mean, I respect him a lot for that. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know. It's like, I think, I don't know. I guess we both had goals today. I had a goal, too. And I think, like, when I was talking to you before when you called in and you had a moment, right? You know, we may disagree on a lot of things. But I want to get to a point where, like, you know, I think there's a lot of people out there on both sides, on both wings, that think I am supposed to hate you and you're supposed to hate me. And I think, you know, this conversation has been really serious, but we might get a little goofy later with looks. Yeah, you know, get some funny YouTube drama like in the bank just in case the other thing goes quick. All right, Matt.
Yeah.
We can get some funny stuff. I suppose I want to show people like no, that doesn't have to happen, and we can even bust each other's balls or say some, you know, say some what might be considered nasty shit and still have a good time. I agree with you completely on the line thing. I'll be up on my line tends to be like, it's not like I can't take a Catholic priest joke, but if you start saying too much about Catholics, and I'm not religious, I feel like that is a line with me because it gets my heritage. Whether I believe it or not is irrelevant. The other thing is 9/11, but I've learned from being on the internet, maybe not as dramatically as you have, that you got to be able to take the 9/11 jokes and you know, the Catholic priest jokes. You got to be able to take a role. If you can dish it out, you got to be able to take it. You know, so like when I hear a joke like that, it's usually just once in passing. I don't get as upset. But I guess if there is a line with me, if you're in It's not one line. It's not one line. It's like if you're in a room with me and you keep pegging me with that stuff, then I'll get angry. You know, then I'll get outraged. But I think if you just hear something once and then it moves into like the next thing, you got to let it slide. You can just say the joke sucks or I didn't find it funny. We don't have to cancel each other over it. I think that's fair.
Yeah, and it's funny because, years past, like literally when I had 9 subscribers on YouTube, this guy with like 250,000 subs made a video 17 minutes long about why I'm a horrible person and stuff. And this was a guy who was like, communist leaning, very on the left. So I had to like I felt like in order to be accepted, I thought I had to be like this left person that I like kind of wasn't. But then I also have some beliefs that like kind of were there, but aren't.
Sure.
It's this weird thing that's hard to explain. But like, I was just in a
I think
weird
it's hard to
place
explain
finding myself,
now.
trying to find a community, to be honest with you, because I've never felt welcome.
Well, maybe like, I don't know, be like me, don't have one. Maybe just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's all this sort of pressure on anybody that's an influencer, and I think kids today too, in general. And when I mean kids, I mean like high school kids. That they have to. There was this in but see, when I was a kid, you were like a fucking jock or a metal or a hip hopper or a loser or a dork or what have you, and that was it. I feel like that's expanded. That this quest for identity has expanded. I think it's really fucking up a lot of people. I'm not certainly saying that everybody's transgender is fucked up, but I do think it's fucked up to put pressure on kids, and I think it kind of seeps into their adulthood. You must fit here. Whereas you had that pressure when I was in high school, and then it went away after high school. That you realized that all that, the jock, the emos, the metalheads and stuff was a bunch of fucking horse shit, and then you got to be yourself, like in college.
Yeah.
I don't see that anymore. And I only went to school like 20 years ago, and I don't see that anymore. I think with the advent of social media and like the cancel culture stuff, it's just made the world like a lot less funny and kind of cruel. Really cruel. I think it's a lot crueler for me to do everything I can to keep you from having a voice than it would be talking like you and having a really deep voice and hey sexy, how you doing? I don't think the second thing I did was that cruel. It's definitely a jab, but it's not necessarily hateful, which of course depends on the context. And I just see that I just think that with all this pressure that's on kids, they're not getting that when they're 19, 20. They're starting to realize that groups suck. That's and I'm long past that stage, and I'm seeing people that are entering 30 that aren't that stage. So that's my opinion of the situation, and I think that's politically neutral too.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, I've always had this struggle constantly where it's like it's weird because I go on like this war with myself. It's like I pride myself in like, I'm not a part of this community that's like, they're constantly having the same opinions because that's all their friends do. It's like I'm looking at this individually, but at the same time, it also feels lonely. Like it would be so nice to have a Discord call, like a group of 5 friends, and we're just like giggling all the time. And it's like sounds super fun.
Are you
never
lonely?
had that.
Are you lonely?
It's debatable. I talk to a lot of, like, I have friends on Discord and I have friends like who aren't YouTubers. I just don't talk about my personal life because like I'm very controversial online.
Don't.
I don't want to bring any of those people.
But
I think that's fair.
Do you have a group to chill with when you're like home and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I do. I have a group of people, but like I said,
I have to admit, you
I don't talk
sound
about them
different.
Online
you sounded much more reserved a year ago. Almost like whenever you talked, it almost sounded like you were licking your feet. You seem,
really?
Yeah, that's the impression I got. That you were like scared, almost. That's the impression I got. That's the way I remember it. It could be like just the way I remember it. It might not be. I could go back and say, well, that's not the way I remember it, and it could be completely opposite. But now you feel at least a little more outgoing and a little more I don't know, comfortable with yourself, comfortable in your own shoes.
I'll tell you what, in the time since I've talked to you, I've been on so many streamers, right? And if I can make it through a conversation with Destiny and Bosch and hold myself pretty well, I think I'm doing okay. But at the time, I was so new. I just gotten back from the dentist. I was hanging at McDonald's in the parking lot, and I go to my sub feed. All of a sudden, this dude is streaming, and it's like, I've heard of you. I've seen your stuff before at that point. but you always struck me as like kind of angry, and it's like, oh no, is this dude gonna roast me?
It's
this
a part of my
like
act.
obviously
Yeah,
it
it's a
was.
part of my
I
act.
came in with bad faith.
I'm kind of letting the with you for right now, because that's the way I kind of go with I'm kind of letting the act down a little bit. But yeah, that's, you know, angry old man is definitely what people show up, and yeah, I think they like what they have to say for the most part. But it's like going to NASCAR. It's like going to a hockey game. You want to see one car crash. You want to see one fist fight. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
let's be real here. You know, and I think they want me to yell at people, but what I think I do is I only yell at people when I feel something, so it's organic and it doesn't feel forced. And then it's a lot cooler when I actually legitimately get married. Say, show us carnage, chaos omitted. Yeah, I get that. But I don't know. I think I to do Tommy's being too nice. I don't like it. Unsubbed. All right.
Oh.
No, but I thought this conversation would be sort of interesting. Like, I'm going to ask you some personal questions now. Like,
Do it.
So you're 20. You can walk away from these. These are tough. These are tough. All right. These are not attacks on your character.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
You
Give the
are
audience what they want.
a transition male to female, and you've done it during a time where this is a very contentious issue. What was high school like? What were the last couple of years like? I'm just interested from your perspective.
Okay, so first of all, I transitioned 2014. I was 14 years old.
I got to follow up then. Who allowed that in your family, or there's nothing they could do about it?
I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds like I was just came out to my parents. They didn't understand it at the time, but it was like, you know, we accept you. I had to explain it to them, but then they were like, okay, cool, yeah.
Okay.
Like, they were fine. They were accepting of me because, like, they just saw me as... I was terrified they wouldn't accept me.
What about Dad?
I was like,
That's
you
gotta
love
be...
me no matter what.
What about
I
Dad?
think I told them... What?
How did Dad handle it? I could see Mom's going along with it, but was Dad harder?
I thought he was fine. I mean, maybe like a little at first. It was more, like I said, of not an understanding, but they were cool.
They were really
I think
cool.
over time they started to understand that it was just me. Like, I have very cool parents. Like, a lot of trans people are like, oh, my parents were never accepting. I never really had that. I had like one cousin email me saying, hey, you know, you need to start finding God and stuff, but that was it. I mean, if that's the worst having to deal with, like,
what if I
totally
was your
good.
father and I said something, because my way to handle it would have been a little different than your family. You can do this when you're an adult. That's 4 years from now. Have a nice day. How would that have handled? Because obviously you did get some hormone therapy in that time. Is that correct?
Yeah, so that's the thing that people always say. It's like, oh, wait till you're 18. But when you're male to female, people don't understand. It's like, if you wait till you're 18, like, testosterone is irreversible.
Sure.
Like, do you really want someone to transition, like, when they're an adult, you know, they have all this body hair, they have, like, a mustache and beard, they have, like,
no, I'd hope you
snap.
I was kind of hoping you'd snap out of it. You know, I'm dad now. I'm the dad you never had. You know, I'm hoping that testosterone makes you like pussy. You know, that's what I'm thinking at that stage. Looking for my, like, to try to put yourself on my stage. I have a 14-year-old daughter right now. I mean, I got to be honest with you. I don't know if I could handle it the same way your parents did, but I don't know if they were wrong, and I don't know if I'm right, and it's kind of a fascinating topic. Not that this is an issue. She's the girliest girl in the world. But
well, then I don't think you have
wonder
that problem.
what it's, because when I see, especially with young people, and I deal with a lot of young people doing this, it's very difficult for me, and Matt knows this, to not look at it through the eyes of a parent that saw a birth, and that has a real effect on you. I can only imagine what kind of impacts it has on women. So now you see these things, they're talking about transitioning and not accepting the gender that nobody had a choice in. It sounds very, very difficult. But I guess tell me this story. Like how did that? So what did the next 4 years go like with high school and transitioning? And
I mean, it was very hard for my parents because I told my parents when I was like 14. It's like, listen, I want to transition, but like if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to be in school. Like all these people around me. You know, this is 2014. No one knows what being trans is.
Yeah,
I felt like I'm going to get bullied really hard. It's going to suck for me. And my parents were like, no, you need to finish high school. And it took months and months. And eventually people started noticing, like my voice was getting higher. People started making like these weird comments. And at this point I was like, listen, like I need to start doing this, because I would go to school dressed one way and then I would go home and then put like a dress on and stuff. And I did that for a few months. I mean, so like really early in the transition. But eventually I did online school. I got my GED when I was 16. I went to college, and that was the big real test, because like I had a few friends, like, you know, I told like a few people, but like most people didn't know what happened to me. I was at school one day, I disappeared. And, you know, I'm just very happy no one's ever really going to find out what my dead name is. I keep that to myself, because that's no one's business.
That's no one's business.
And yeah, I mean, I live a new life. And when I went to college, you know,
you sound
people
really
were,
you sound
people
really
didn't
happy.
even know I was trans.
You kind of sound happy. I got to be my experience with other trans people, but they are admittedly they're older than you are, a lot older than you are. Is they're not very happy? Do you feel good? Do you feel good about the future? Do you look at your past transitions, just the result of being young? And I mean, are you feeling good about the future? Are you afraid of anything? Because we know. I mean, this is not an insult. That, you know, trans people, it's not an easy life. I think we can both agree with that, right?
No, definitely.
Yeah, it's not
like,
an easy life.
I'm happy, and I think me transitioning. If I transitioned when I was older, I would still be trans, but I wouldn't pass as well. I wouldn't have a girly voice. I wouldn't look like a girl. I would just be miserable. I mean, I don't tell people this because I know people learn this information. Like, I used to hide my face.
Well,
like,
I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Rose.
Because
I want to hear it, because I don't get it. I can't. There's no part of me that can understand. I want to hear what you're feeling. I want to hear why. I want to I understand it a little more than I did 5 minutes ago, because you're right. If you did wait till you're 18, you know, when you did the hormonal treatments, they wouldn't have been as effective. So you feel more like a girl. So you feel better about yourself. All right. All right. That's good. I can get my head around that. So I understand that. I didn't understand that like 5 minutes ago. All right.
This is good.
So that's really the goal, is to feel as much like I don't want to say the opposite sex, but the sex you're going for, you know, the gender you're going for. That's what's going to get you through. Is that where we're going? Is that like the more girly you feel, the better you feel about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing, is I see these trans people online, and obviously, like, I feel so disconnected, because to me, it's always been so simple. I just always felt like a woman, and like, it was literally that if people just saw me as cis and didn't know I was trans, like, I'd be I like that. I prefer that, actually. So it's like, you know, for people to not know, it's like, oh, this is the pinnacle of what I'm going for. Obviously, I tell people that are trans because it's important, and because I always kind of fear that like people know anyway. For whatever reason, I'm just like, oh.
You sound kind of proud, actually. You don't sound miserable at all.
And that's the thing. The trans propaganda, I tell you, is that all trans people hate it. This is this awful thing. It's really not. I promise you.
At least for you. Is it fair to say that you're an exception to the rule? I mean, I don't know the statistics. I'm asking the question. I'm not saying. Are you an exception to the rule, or are you what we should all be going for? You know.
Obviously, I would think that most trans people are happy, but I think a lot of people on Twitter, like I said, I've always been an outlier within trans spaces, because it's like some people are like, oh, I'm proud to be trans, and it's like, well, if I just wish I was a cisgender woman, like that's the whole point, the reason I'm trans in the first place. I wish I was that way. Okay. So it's like, obviously, I can't speak for everybody. I mean, there's probably going to be trans people watching this and be like, Rose Mulet is transphobic, and I'm just like, what? Okay. You know, so
I'm just trying to get how you got there, because this is not a conversation that I'm really able to have that often. I'm not comfortable having it. But now I'm more comfortable having it here than I would in private, to be honest with you. All right. Get this. Like, I remember like being prepubescent and then constantly thinking about girls. There obviously was a difference, you know, during puberty for you. What was the feeling that was different? Like, how did you know? I guess the simplest way to, like, how do you know? At 14,
know, it is so funny.
How do you know anything at 14? Like, I don't get that, you know?
I mean, but like, okay, so first of all, I feel like people just know their gender identity. When I was 2 years old, I told my parents, like, I'm a girl, right? I'm just a girl. But I had specific instances in my life. I can pinpoint certain memories where it's like, for whatever reason, and I can't explain why, I just identified that way. I knew it, but I couldn't say it, obviously, out loud.
When was the first time you had that feeling? Do you remember the age, though? Do you remember the age?
I want to say, I mean, obviously when I was like 2 to 5, but I don't even remember. But I remember like when I was in like second grade, like fourth, fifth, and sixth. I had a lot. Really, fifth and sixth grade was really bad then. But it was like a handful of memories.
But did you look? This is one thing we have in common. We were both little boys at one time. You know, did like how was your relationship with other boys? Like at second grade or third grade, did you hang out with the boys? Did you wrestle in the dirt? Did you do all that other stuff, or it did you always feel uncomfortable in that environment? You wanted to go with the girls when what they were doing. You know, how did that work?
It's so. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you answer the question.
Yeah. It is actually really interesting because when I was like a kid, so first of all, it's very like a lot of like young boys and girls like aren't friends at that age. It's very disincentivized. When I was in second grade, like one of my best friends was a girl, but like a lot of the time it's like, you know, they won't let you go to the other kids' houses. But most of my friends were boys, and that's just simply, you know, being socialized in that way. But even with my friend, it's so funny. I was always like the odd one out. Like I had this one friend, you know, very, you know, not a YouTube person, but I had a friend when I was a kid, and you know, I would go to his house. He played football and stuff, and every time I went to his house, we just talked about like life and stuff. But all of his other friends were like athletic, and I always was like just not that.
Yeah.
So it would be even with when I had male friends, it was like this completely different thing. And it's like I think it's so funny. Years later, they was like, "Oh, I just thought you were gay." Like people would, and I was like, first of all, thinking to myself, I thought I was like blending in so well. It's like I thought it was just like normal, but it's like now you thought that about me.
So like, everybody thought you were gay.
I never thought that about. I just
really? You never thought you were gay?
But I was too afraid to tell people.
Yeah. Do you think it's when you say you're too afraid to tell people? Do you think it was more in the back of your mind rather than something like I'd like to say this, but I can't because of societal norms?
Go for it. Oh, no, yeah. Actually, I think so. I mean, here's the thing, right? When you're like 12 years old, you're not like constantly thinking about it, but like certain things will come up. Like obviously, like first of all, early prepubescent, right, childhood, gender isn't a super important aspect.
No,
like,
it's not. I don't remember it being that big a deal until I hit puberty. So, you know, then it was a big deal.
I could be super feminine and like be a child, and it was like no one really cared. It wasn't that big of a deal. But as soon as I turned 12, like the dysphoria, it really hit. And it was like a clear point in my life. And it's like,
what does it feel like?
I get really depressed.
What does it feel like?
Like my parents were like,
what does it feel like? Like, what does the dysphoria feel like? Is it a thing? Is it like having a cold? Is it having a headache? I mean, I really apologize if it sounds like I'm trivializing.
You're fine. No, don't even worry about it.
I'm totally like trying to understand here.
It's more like, sorry?
Yeah, just what does it feel like to the best of your ability?
I don't want to get like TMI, but it's like feeling like certain body parts shouldn't be there. Feeling like, you know, socially, like, you know, it's so weird. I feel left out. Whereas like I should be in, you know, society should be viewing me this certain way. I should have this long hair. I should look pretty. Why am I not allowed to be this way? Why is it when I look in the mirror, I don't see myself? Other people see somebody that I don't see. And it feels like I'm just like acting, like pretending to be someone that I'm not. It feels so weird.
You felt that at 12 years old. Yeah. You said that's when it really hit in. That's pretty much the time. You felt that at 12. That's a pretty intense feeling for a child to have. I mean, I really can't imagine it. But all right, that's.
I mean, I don't know how to tell other people because it's just my existence. Like I get to other people who don't, you know, have that experience. It's fascinating to them, but for me, it's just life. That's just how it was for me.
I'm going to ask you sort of not from me. It's a little pointed. It might be a little considered nasty. Jessica says, I want to know how many hours Rose spent on Tumblr. Tumblr groomed a bunch of young kids in multiple ways. Were you groomed? Zero.
I never used Tumblr. I always thought it was cringy. I looked at the website. It was like this weird, stupid, like, you know, actually Tumblr is so easy to explain. We don't have to explain. I was like, yeah, this site's not for me. Never used it.
Let me ask you a little more mean question. Were you in a group of any time that people did you ever feel like you weren't linking about this, and then you joined some internet group and like, well, now this seems more like, yeah, this is me? Or did it happen just the way you told me it happened? At 12 years old, you had this weird feeling about body parts not really, that shouldn't have been there. You know, how did that happen?
You know, it's funny because I'll never forget, I was like 10 years old. There was like a Guinness Book of World Record book, and then it was like pregnant man. I was like, ooh, oh, it's possible. And I look and it's like a trans man. I'm like, oh, he cheated. And it was like so stupid. And then I just was like, I can't look this up online because my parents are going to find my search history. So I'll find out some other day. And then, like,
so you did, in fairness to Jessica, you did kind of seek out other trans people online as a teenager. Is that fair?
Eventually, but after I transitioned. I transitioned before. So
Oh,
what
so you
happened
transitioned
was,
prior? Really? You transitioned prior to that?
So here's what happened.
Can you tell me what state you're from, just out of pure interest?
Arizona.
Anything? Are you like? Were they religious? Your parents?
Not really. I mean, I stopped going to church when I was 10 because they did like a thing that like humans live with dinosaurs. My parents thought that was stupid, so I stopped going to church after that.
They were riding T-Rexes.
True story. Yeah, and we were
Jesus
like, okay,
rode
people,
the T-Rex to conquer
people did not exist
Israel.
with dinosaurs. Yeah, we shouldn't be bringing our children. I'm sure that's what my parents thought.
Yeah, I would like, I may think I'm a chick, but shit, what's with the dinosaur thing? I'm out of here.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what happened, and I don't like saying this because I know people are going to hear it and they're going to think, oh, this did that to you. I was 14 years old. I was randomly like scrolling through YouTube. I saw a video, I think, of this woman named Jazz Jennings, and I was like, wait, I've never heard the word trans before. I didn't even know this was a thing people could do. I didn't know this was possible. This is literally like me. So, like, people are going to be like, oh, well, you only did it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's my answer. I can't tell one way or another. You can't say that you connected that because that's what you're feeling, and you can't say that because you were somehow, like, groomed, for lack of a better word. We'll never know the truth. I can only take your word for it. It doesn't sound disingenuous. But in fairness, if you were groomed, you would know it. So I'll leave it at this.
Oh my God.
We don't know one way or another, but I'll take your word for it, I guess. Well, I do wonder with the sheer amount, like, it's your story, if telling me the truth, sounds very like this was going to happen no matter what. I mean, and
yeah,
maybe, and by the way, I believe that with of course, homosexuals.
I have a
as well.
follow-up question, if I could.
Yeah.
Were there any like trans celebrities that caught your eye before you transitioned?
No,
or
this was a year before Caitlyn Jenner. I didn't know any of them. I just want to say one thing real quickly.
Sure.
Like I used to go to sleep and pray every night that like I would wake up as a woman. Like when I was like 12 years old, before I transitioned, I used to do that. So like obviously you could say, oh, the YouTube videos did that. It's like, how do you explain that? You know what I'm saying? Like
because I feel like you know what it is, because I'm doing this to play devil's advocate, but I do feel like I'm trying to talk you out of being gay. And that's a weird conversation. Like, you know what? You're not really gay if you think about it. And here's the thing. I have much more experience with close friends I have much more experience with that than I do with transgender. Transgender is very, very new to me. When I saw transgenders growing up, they were heroin addicts in Manhattan. And like that's literally my only contact prior to that. But I realized that's obviously not always the case. So
yeah, that's all I knew.
It does. I always did kind of believe there were people that that did have this dysphoria, and it was somehow natural. But I do also believe quite strongly that I think it is a bit trendy right now, and I think it also, like most trends, it'll go away. I think there are, and I'm not going to say, well, you're a real transgender, you're not a real transgender. I do think there's a certain amount of that, and going back to that pressure of falling into a group, and this is just one of the many things that you can fall in. I think that's a reality. I do. How much? Couldn't tell you. Not a doctor. But I don't know, and I don't think I've ever believed that it's just, that's the case with every single person. And I can only take you at your word at the end of the day, And you know what? And here's the best part. Even if you were groomed, too late now. Yeah, too late now. There's not much that can be done about it. So, all right.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
Rose Mulet, what's your opinion on the green M&M?
Stop it.
Oh my God, that they're like.
Do you know that meme?
Yeah, they like made the M&M like less sexy or something. With
me?
Right?
Do you know? Oh, good. Good. Shut up, Matt.
Okay, gotcha.
She doesn't know anything about how it applies to me. All right.
How does it apply?
Oh, it's a whole thing. I don't want to get into it. It's personal.
Okay. You can feel that passionate about M&M.
You can research the Tommy C and the green M&M all you like. It's not a conversation now. I have a lot of experience with gay men. Tommy C 2022. Yeah, I'm really getting its Pride C. I'm like, I just want to ask a couple questions that I don't understand, and I don't think I'm asking him I'm like, I hope I don't offend you, but I'm not overly trying. I'm gonna say if I can, what's coming to my mind, and I think I can probably learn a lot more if I just do it. Like, Rose is perfect because she's not gonna shame me if I ask the question the wrong way.
Of course not, because that's how you learn. That's how people get educated. What?
Yeah, crazy. You're gonna ask some questions. Green M&M. Shh. Don't let her know the secret, Tommy.
Do I need to look this up?
Yeah, probably, but not today. Not with me. Not with me. Well, all right. Here's where I'll leave. Here's where I'll leave our interview. All right. I appreciate talking to you. I think my personal. I'd say this to you offline. Like, do the panels and be yourself, and see where it goes. If you're a grifter that's just gonna hop on everything, we'll figure you out. It'll happen. But I mean, I gotta be honest with you, the person that I've talked to in the past 2 days, all of 2 phone calls, it seemed like pretty normal to me. I
sound like a grifter to you though? Like
you know what it is? It's not even. No, I don't. I can't put my finger on whatever your thing is now. All right, I can't put it. But this is YouTube land. This is influencer land. Everybody's full of shit, including me. So that's
you're always going to be questioned.
You're always going to be questioned, no matter what. Even when you're telling the truth, it doesn't matter. Like there's so many things can come out about you in this that lies can come out about you, and it doesn't happen very often. Thank God that you can refute, and it doesn't matter. So, and I have personal experience with that. So, I'm just saying that's just I don't think you've been red pilled. I think you've been rose pilled. I think you're fine. I think you're finding yourself a little more. You sound like somebody who's more comfortable in their own shoes. That's not the person I remember from a year ago.
I just don't understand why people are like subscribing something on me based on pure speculation off of, like, you've heard me talk maybe like 2 or 3 times ever, and now you think you know everything about me.
Fair enough.
Like, okay, maybe listen to me.
But you gotta understand, Rose. And I come to a decision then. I'm good at this. I can pick up on. I am, and that's what we're gonna talk about next. I pick up on things real quick, but look, I mean.
And you think I'm genuine, so see.
I'm getting all those vibes. I'm not.
And you've been right before. So what does that say?
I guess I was right. Well, I think I'm getting vibes with somebody who changed. Somebody changed. Somebody sees the world in a different perspective, and I could tell when you're talking, you're smiling. Like I didn't get that impression before. You seem defensive.
Fear now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's not a criticism. It's an observation. It's an observation. So, I'm pretty good judge of I am a pretty good judge of character, but I do get it wrong from time to time, of course. So, now we're going to talk about my favorite thing in the world, me.
Why did you say that? Okay, sorry.
Why would I say what?
Augie said I belonged in a mental institution, but let's talk about you.
Yes, that's more important to talk about me. As you guys know, I've been involved in a drama. And I was right again, as always. I mean, let's just keep it real. Yesterday, I made the comment. A lot of you might know about it. I kind of theorized that the reason that this TheActMan stuff just got completely out of control is he's a big ass YouTuber, million. He obviously has a real powerful followers on Twitter. He can really get things moving. And this prick Quantum TV, who apparently now we do have confirmation. I from the guy that's doing the research. We have absolute confirmation of one video by Quantum TV that went down and stayed down. One. Not what we're hearing that everybody's making a video and getting taken down. That doesn't seem to be ever be true at one time, and that does seem to be misinformation that TheActMan spread. All right. So after it started to become a little more clear that we did ask him for evidence of these videos being down, I just kind of spoke out loud, and I decided to tag him in it this time. And I said, I think what happened here is TheActMan was trying to get rid of this guy that called his mom. I would call it harassment and intimidation of his mom. And he wanted to get this dude, QTV, off the fucking platform. I get it. I think that is one of the few deplatforming things when it's open harassment, direct calls to another YouTuber's family member. All right, I think it's one of the few examples. But I think what happened was he sent YouTube all the evidence. And he felt entitled to a result because of his stature as a YouTuber, because of who he was, because of probably all the success that's come before this. He doesn't strike me as a guy that hears no very often. Well, of course, QTV did not get kicked off. His solution to this was to make a video, as we know now, and he put the names of the video of some of the people that are involved in terms of service, some higher ups in YouTube. And then all of a sudden he was told, I guess he was being demonetized. YouTube put a tweet out, said that, they're basically protecting their employees and stuff like that. On the surface, it looked really, really awful. I said that, look, like this guy's getting screwed. This Quantum TV guy's awful, but you really put yourself in that position. I then would go on to say, I think what happened is you didn't get your own way. You made a risky video. Your ego got you. That's it. That's all I said. That's all I said. So he had a complete meltdown. I did my stream yesterday reiterating this. And if you noticed, I'm friendly with Jay Station. I thought it would be, Jay's been very critical of that. I mean, I said, it wouldn't be really funny if you called his mom at 3 a.m. And he called him Ant-Man with deliberately. Thank you, Gregory. One more buck and you can get in the Discord, by the way, Gregory.
Gotta be $5.
Yeah, one more. It was 5 and you're in. Just one more and you're good. You just sync it with trying to be an advertiser. Sync it with the Discord and you're good. So I had this kind of cold opening where Jay comes up and calls his mom in the morning, and then I cut that later on at night, and I just released it as one single clip because I thought it was pretty funny. It's all right, Tommy. Once ActMan takes your monetization, I think I can get you a job as a slave. I think it's like you just got to check with my slave master, Jay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good man. And he had a complete and utter meltdown. Not to the level that I thought he would, but to the level where it really proved my point. His ego got in the way, and he blew it. He dropped it. First off, he wrote, Jay Station just dropped a video calling my mom at 3 a.m. This is real, laughing my ass off, right? So it's a little deceptive for her. Now, he does clear it up later on. While hilarious, unfortunately, now Tommy C has uploaded content from a user with previous restrictions. Therefore, YouTube's well within their rights to take action against him and this video. Congratulations, dipshit. You played yourself. Well, the interesting thing about that is he does put terms of service, but terms of service talks about re-uploading and like Jay Station be able to upload on my channel. He didn't upload on my channel. There's no managers. It's me. I hired him as an actor. It was a skit I came up on. I don't know.
You're the producer.
Video could, yeah, I'm the producer. The video could, we still could go down because I think what ActMan did is he sent so many people, so much hate my way deliberately so people would flag it. So we could be down tomorrow, and that's fine. I think ActMan has more than revealed himself, and he's also made himself somebody that's really not worth defending. Why are we defending this guy? Guy gets his monetization back. He's going to try to get other fucking people get kicked off the internet. That's not an unreasonable assumption, considering that he's power hungry and egomaniac, and I think that's pretty clear. So, comment goes, LOL, what the fuck? Are you trying to get Tommy banned? Have you not been paying attention? This is when he gets on the cross. The whole point is that the rules are not being enforced. They need to be, or else shit like Quantum TV happens. J Station is not allowed.
Are you showing it on screen, Tommy?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. J Station is not allowed on the platform. It is against TOS to upload content from this restricted user. You know, it's funny reading that for the second time. You know, a lot of people had a problem with him going to the mainstream media. With that kind of language, it's going to create a rule to get us all fucked for sure. If the TOS is enforced like fucking like strictly down the line, are you kidding me? I'd normally take a more lenient stance, but yeah, somebody got made fun of you. Re-uploads and of terminations of users, but since it deals with the very subject, my family being doxxed, so it's not okay because it's you. Then it's okay because I'm making fun of doxing. I am taking this seriously. Why should I not? Oh, man. Jay Station actually calling your mother in that clip. It's a satirical skit about a serious topic. And I want to go back, and yes, I do think this is on purpose. Jay Station just uploaded a video about calling my mom at 3 a.m. This is real laughing my ass off. I think he knows how the system works, and I've seen his fans. They see the first part and just go from there. I do. I know he cleared it up, but yeah, sure. I'm not really bothering. And then he goes, not ban-worthy, strike-worthy. Then that is very cringe-worthy. Comment cop always gets everybody in the end. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said I was surprised by any of this. I'm only surprised by the degree that this guy took his mask off. And that's what happened here. Ant-Man's not worth defending because he went after QTV, maybe legitimately, But maybe he could let it go too. You ever think of that? Maybe Ant-Man wasn't entitled to get the result he wanted from YouTube. Maybe he should have, but maybe he wasn't entitled to it. You know, I seem to remember getting CP, all my staff members in the Discord, getting sent CP. We sent all the information we could to the police department in the United Kingdom and Discord. You know what happened? Nothing. CP, for fucking Christ's sakes. Nothing. Did I go on a fucking tear on Discord so I could lose my Discord? No, I didn't. I sucked it up and drived on. Well, that's not Ant-Man, because Ant-Man's an egomaniac. And I said this before. Now it's been completely been revealed. I've said it before, and like usual, I'm crazy. And of course, it then happens that it's just undeniable at this point. Because if you scroll down here, Nick, and I'm very appreciative that he did this. He didn't take this as a joke. He didn't take this. This had nothing to do with TOS. Just like his war against QTV had nothing to do with gay rights. Also, sorry, not sorry. I'm obligated to leak this. Oh boy, Tommy C about to get a strike if I have anything to say about it. Well, that's funny. That kind of contradicts what you were saying before. It'd be okay with it, but by the way, he wrote me that private. This guy's a liar on top of all this stuff. So you played yourself, and I was right about you. You're an egomaniac. In fact, I don't think it even started off that way. It just started off as like, dude, you got emotional, and then you freaked, and you made a bad mistake. You could even take that criticism from Nick back on Thursday. Like, yeah, it was kind of stupid the way you did things. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. And then if you go on Augie's show, yeah, maybe, you'll have that your lackey Mischief coming up. Yeah, he's gonna downshift. Hey, Mischief, did you lie to me, or did you just make that up in the sense that you didn't know what the fuck he was going to do next? You know, Mischief, you, the guy that repeatedly goes, it's research. You sound like a fucking cult leader, by the way. There's nothing to do with research. Here's all the research I needed to do prior to finding that Ant-Man is a complete nut job. It's all right here. It's in one of his videos that he's proud of. Here it is.
I suggest you make peace with whatever content you wish to publish on your channel before you see this screen again. And Quantum, you're gonna see it again.
Well, that sounds funny. It sounds like this. Oh boy, Tommy C about to get a strike if I have anything to say about it. I was right. It wasn't a fucking accident. It's not luck either. It's just people just refuse to look at the behavior that's right in front of their face and the behavior patterns. One of the reasons that this kicked this off is because just prior to my stream yesterday, I just refused to talk to him. Why did I refuse to talk to him? Because what I saw on Augie's show, the way I heard their conversation with Willie went down, it wouldn't go anywhere. He wasn't going to tell me the truth. He was going to sit there and say, yeah, I know you're not with QTV, and then say it again publicly later that I was. The only thing I have to say is fucking this.
Just your DMs.
Fuck Willie. I don't care about Willie. Fuck him.
Jesus Christ.
This wasn't that big a deal. There's nothing in there. Everything's on Discord.
It's funny.
Here.
It's just the great timing.
Yeah, I'm talking to him, of course. By the way, TheActMan, I'm giving him everything. He's making a video. It's not a secret. Yeah, and this is my I think my most fun moment. What the fuck happened? You remember the tweet he sent me yesterday? This funny tweet. The smoking gun you are looking for. I should talk like. Can somebody read this like Yoda? You're looking for clears quantum does not exist. If the intro archive you search, only pain you will find. Get the fuck out of here. Grow the fuck up. All right? Well, I found the smoking gun. Well, Nick did. Wasn't even looking for you, dipshit. You weirdo. Here's another thing I'm hearing. We'll go to the rumor mill right now. You are immediately bragging to multiple YouTubers about getting me struck down. Not just Nick. You have been exceptionally vague when people have tried to find out information, up into including when it comes to how many videos we're taking down. Right now, from what I understand, the only source that told me it's just one. Just one. We already know that Quantum TV is a douchebag. Yeah, that's right, Mischief. No matter how many times you repeat yourself, just do the research, Yeah, I've done the research on Quantum. He's a horrible guy. That was never my criticism in the first place. Stupid. You were on this show, you dumb moron. Jesus Christ, I gave you more credit than... Yeah, I got something wrong. Mischief's not a bleeding moron. He actually is the person on those fucking videos that talk like this. You're an idiot. All you do is say over and over, do the research, do the research. What, you cult leader? If I just do the research, then there's just no way I couldn't disagree with TheActMan on everything? You're an idiot. You're a stupid idiot. You're a dumb fucking kid. God damn it. I'm not.
I was just going to say, they just can't get it through their heads that we can criticize TheActMan while condemning Quantum TV.
Yeah, like, and he says, well, do the research, and then you would never do that. You'd be like the rest of us fucking idiots. They just say anything. I was like, wow, and I thought I was scummy. Camelot. So there you go. Now he's a completely different. And by the way, I found it really funny. I found it really, really funny that Mr. is and he's done a great job. Jeremy, who's always fucking sticking up for people that getting their channels taken down and going after fucking YouTube, but that's not me because I don't fit in that fucking narrative. So he's freaking out on me, and all Jeremy had to fucking say when he's telling me I'm gonna get striked and shit like that, all Jeremy had to all Jeremy was saying is stay focused. How about you stay focused, Jeremy? Why don't you, hold the same standard? This guy's not like one of us. He's just will say anything. He'll say it's about TOS enforcement. He'll say it's about gay rights. He'll say it's about his personal feelings. It just matters who he's fucking talking about, talking to. He'll tell you your any criticisms really is because you're a Quantum TV supporter. You get him on the phone. He's like, no, I never meant that, and switch right back to it later. This is not a revelation. This is not Tommy C. Oh, he's got super fucking vision. This is right in front of you. My takes aren't crazy. They never were. They're not conspiratorial. I just know more than you. And you know why? Here's my evidence. I keep getting right, or I'm the luckiest fucking prick in the world. And I don't get everything right. I get the big ones, though. This guy's nuts. He's a maniac. An egomaniac. So he's a complete phony to support to begin with, because as soon as he gets his shit back, he's probably going to go after everybody. Would it just be better if he got his stuff back and him and Quantum TV just go their own way and he could make his fucking videos? No! He has to get this 60K guy fucking off. Yeah, I get it. He won one. Look, I've seen Onision win one against me. I never acted like this. And I don't believe you. I don't think you're for gays. I think you'll say anything. I think you'll use anything. You'll use fucking old tweets, some edgy thing somebody said. And then you said the same shit, and you'll act like I really care about the LGBT community. I want them to be safe. Get the fuck out of here, man. Who are you kidding? Jeremy, why are you supporting them, this guy? Seriously, what are we putting back in power? If you get him the stuff back, if he gets back in power, and I wouldn't have said this even 24 hours ago, then what do? He hasn't learned a fucking thing. And it is completely reasonable, after everything that I asked you to ask this question, it's not conspiratorial, it's a question. Is it reasonable to assume, considering he's acted so crazy in my chat yesterday, in my DMs, in multiple YouTuber DMs, the way he's handled this, it's completely insane, it's not adult, it's all over the place, it seems psychotic. Is it reasonable to come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, and I want to ask you yes or no, that you did something that we don't know about to YouTube that maybe was offline? Did you spam their fucking email boxes with your video 100 times? Did you threaten somebody? Did you do something like that in your anger? Because I was told on Friday that you were going to downshift by Mischief, who's a complete moron. You never had any intention of downshifting. Not for a second. Not for a minute. You're just going to do what you did till you got your way, and if it didn't work, you switch gears. That's exactly what you did. You're a fraud, and if you get your shit back, you're probably going to never change a thing. You're just going to say, hey, it fucking worked. And I don't see why you wouldn't think that way. And no, I don't accept your apology. I think it's fake.
Yeah, I just got an apology. And
yeah, you just got you just got an apology too. God, not accepted. You're a fake. You're a phony. I was right about you. You know what? Why is it that the oldest, crustiest commentator that can only pull anywhere from 300 to 400 on a fucking good day, why was it so important that I thought that you handled the situation with YouTube correctly? Because that's how this started. with you and me? Why was it so important? Who cares? Fucking Augie and Nick and Bobax are going to say I was nuts to begin with. And if you didn't act crazy, they would have been right. Why? Why? Well, I'll tell you why. You're an egomaniac. You have some kind of problem. You should go to therapy. I'm not joking. And I think it's very, very possible that that video is not just what got you in trouble. Because that's one thing me and Nick and a lot of everybody agree on. Nobody can believe how hard they came down on you. Nothing is comparable in the past. So it is logical to assume that something happened that's extra. And considering your language, your bizarre language, like you're trying to find what the fuck did he say? I mean, this is such bizarre horse shit. The I can't find because I closed a bunch of things by accident. Damn it. This is absolutely bizarre language.
Well, can we talk about Elvis the Alien real quick as well?
Oh, fuck. Yeah. Nick's right about that guy. We'll get him in a minute. The smoking gun that you were looking for. I just remember having an opinion about you. Where did you get all the smoking gun stuff? Is there a smoking gun? Did you do something? These are no longer unreasonable questions, considering your behavior. And you know what? They weren't to begin with. They're just yes or no. Were you afraid I was going to find it? I do have a reputation of just kind of stumbling on this shit. And I do have a reputation of just somebody leaks to me out of nowhere. For all you know, the next leak could be the YouTube employee you threatened. If that happened. And no, none of it's crazy. It's just being able to judge human beings and the way they act. And I do have a bit of an advantage because I usually have at least 20 years on all YouTubers. But you know what? I don't care if you call me crazy. I don't care if I get ratioed. It doesn't really bother me. I think it's really childish that people worry about something like that. Of course I'm going to get ratioed. He's fucking like hundreds of thousands, millions of fans. It's just a numbers game to me. I care about getting it right. And I'm really, really fucking good at getting it. And the best part is when I don't get it right, I tell you. I got this guy pegged. And anybody has a problem with that simply because I got it pegged and no other fucking reason, fuck you. What did Elvis the Alien do?
Sorry. Yeah, so he tweeted in support of ActMan and kind of shat on you. I sent you the DM, the screenshot, because it is deleted now.
Oh! Another great tweet by Nick. So, yeah, he put that, Nick put this thing out. This is too fucking fun. This is one of the funniest things I've read all day. He just wrote, ActMan wrote to me 5 minutes ago, I mean that. No, you don't. Leave me alone. Stop DMing me. I don't believe, because everything you've done in the past, there's no reason. Wasn't I giving ActMan the benefit of the doubt? Like this might have an emotional thing on Friday.
Yes.
All right, it's Tuesday. Fucking get over yourself. I mean, really. Let's see. Let me see. Could be in a random other. Okay. Here we go. Every single time Elvis the Alien thinks he's safe to get a snipe in, and Elvis is famous for doing this. Elvis is famous for speaking up on some issue or some cause or some horse shit like that. And as soon as he says something else happens, and it just completely undermines his original narrative. It's too funny. Somehow the entire situation becomes an unhinged clusterfuck, and then he deletes the tweet. And an Elvis tweet is literally a sign of a drama apocalypse. Laugh my ass off. If he doesn't get to call me and squash the beef, I'm going to put I'm going to put him in a cum jar. Right. Yeah. I also have a I'm going to put him in a cum jar. Okay, I have a quick message for Big B. I have a feeling this is directed toward me. If it's not, it's okay. I think it's extremely important, and I'm not doing it because I support you. I'm doing it because I want to show that Elvis the Alien is two-faced and doesn't actually preach the bullshit that he puts out there about friendship, about loyalty, about being decent. Elvis isn't decent. So I'm sorry, when I use Elvis, and I will, and I use the Zaptai example again, where he told you one thing and then did another and screwed you years later. I'm sorry if it brings back bad memories, but I think he needs to be held accountable. I'm not here for your feelings, Bigby. I'm here to show that Elvis is full of shit. So that's my message to you.
Tommy, I don't know if Zaptai was talking about you.
I don't know if he was or not. I don't know if he was or not, but it happened around the same. Yeah, I don't. But I just want to make that abundantly clear that I don't think this is fair. It's not about you, Zaptai.
I don't think he's talking
that's
about
for him, and that's what you can take. He can call me, or you can get mad at me and call me up. I don't give a shit. But that's for him, just in case it was. I don't know if it was or not. But
you know what also is funny? Every time Elvis the Alien picks a side or like joins in or something,
he gets up in the other one. Yeah.
Not only is he wrong, but he always gets exposed for saying the N-word on Twitter.
Yeah. You got another one of those?
Yeah. I'll find it real quick.
Yeah. Every time he opens his mouth, we find a 2016 N-word tweet from Elvis the Alien.
Yeah. This was a new one though. I wasn't expecting.
Oh, this is the one he deleted. I'm a clown. Don't engage with him. Well, that might have been good advice, but I'm not the clown. He is. He's a clown for engaging with me. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I was right about him, Elvis. Like I was right about you. Like I was right about Zaptai. The Zaptai was just going through some fucking shit, and he wasn't a sociopath. I'm not stupid. I'm not fucking 29 years old in a goddamn podcast saying, yeah, sociopathy. 18-year-old English kid can convince me of fucking anything because he's an up-and-coming YouTuber. I'm different than you. I'm smarter than you. Yeah, that's right, Technicals. I got it right. I got him right once again. So you can put that one fucking down too.
Yeah, here's a new one he was exposed with. I've never seen this one before.
I wish I was a strong, powerful woman that didn't need no man. Sounds like fucking Jeremy. Like Mulet. We're that ginger cunt from Brave. We're that random N-word with one frog. Yeah, fuck you, Elvis. Fuck you in the face. And I'm sorry, Zaptai. I'm sorry if this brings up bad stuff for you. If he's going to continue to lecture people about this shit, that needs to be brought up. And part of that fucking story is you and the way he treated you. I'm not sticking up for you. You're right. But I'm sorry. It's not. We're not hands off because Zaptai told me to. I don't know if you know it's Zaptai. Nobody tells me what to do. So there you go. What else?
I think you hit it. I think
Rose, not one comment?
Oh, by chance. I just didn't want to interrupt you. I have my opinions. I started watching the video, the hour-long video, and my first immediate thought was like, oh, are we really trying to like get people deplatformed again? Like, this guy said some pretty bad stuff. I just don't think the reaction, the way he handled it was great. And then you have the leaked messages. I think awful that he's trying to delete your channel just proves your suspicions about him completely.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
I don't know. Wasn't that? I don't think it was that fucking complicated. I don't think it was that off the mark. Go ahead.
All right, Rose, be honest with me. You were afraid that Tommy was going to get struck and you wouldn't be able to come on the show today.
I was. That was true.
So sad. It's like today of all day. I mean, what are the odds that it's like, it happens to me today? This stuff always happens.
I'm happy you think I'm still a big deal. I'm really not that big a deal anymore. So I guess I'm a
Apparently
big
you are.
Yeah, I guess so.
Apparently
well, no, I still know how to stick to my guns, and people freak out when they can't get you to move positions and stuff like that. And I just don't come out and say, that guy seems shady to me. I give examples, but I notice it doesn't matter. Kind of like it doesn't matter when you start off a sentence like with, I'm not against. I'm not for quantum TV, but this is the way I feel about that. It has nothing to do with quantum TV, right? That doesn't help. It doesn't help when you say like, look, I'm not against foreigners, but I do think there should be certain types of immigration, and that turns into you're a racist. Like there's a million examples we could do, and this guy flaunted it so out in front. I just don't know how anybody else saw it. I don't even know how many could. I really have to question other people. Like if you really think I'm crazy by pointing out this stuff, I gotta question you. Like, what do you know? Anything? Like, do you know anything? Do you want to spot anything? Do you know anything about human behavior, human interaction? Like, it's like, are you just having an extreme lack of experience? This is not luck. This is experience with people. Like, I know how SJWs act. He was showing the same signs. He was doing what he had to do to get the result that he wanted. Didn't care who he had to fuck over to do it. And then I just kind of put my fucking foot out and he tripped over it. It's easy. It was easy to trip because I was the first guy to say no. No.
Hey Tommy, I got a joke that I stole from Twitter.
What?
Why couldn't TheActMan? Why couldn't Quantum TV get on TV?
Why?
Because he couldn't act, man.
I know. Was that I heard that. I did some version of that joke. Somebody insulted me. He's like, "That's no way to act, man." So that's
Oh
it.
my God.
That's we'll close this story, and I'll put this clip up later because I know it's deep in the cast. Rose, thanks so much for being on. I appreciate it.
Fuck yeah.
Of course. Thank you.
All right.
I think this guy has clearly never had people disagree with him. I'm used to people disagreeing with me, and that's why, I'm just the way it is. Thank you for having me on, Tommy.
Because you're a crazy transgender lady.
Yeah, I am the crazy trans woman who everyone hates, apparently, but is actually pretty chill when you talk to me.
I say this to everybody. I don't trust anybody, but I'll say I wish you the best of luck, Rose, and thanks for coming on. I appreciate having a fucking I like talking to you because I didn't feel like I was going to get shamed at any time if I said something uncomfortable, and I appreciate that because
exactly
I would like to know more about people and not less. So this is one of the few areas, and I've traveled the world. And I don't know this area, right? But I do believe it's real. I always have. I just the political issues comes when it comes with kids and education and stuff like that. But that's a different debate for a different time.
No, exactly. If you ever want me on again, there's anything you want me, I'm always here. You know how to reach out to me.
Sure.
I thought we had a very nice talk.
And you could call in if you just feel like bullshit. You'd be a part of the whole wacky crew.
Bullshit. Okay.
You said you want to be a part of a group. Fucking join the Discord, I guess. There's a lot of wacky people. You'll be accepted. Everybody's fucked in the head. You wouldn't be the only one.
Server, $5 a month.
It is $5. You got to give me all you have to do is give me something. You come in the server. I'm in there all the time. Or if you want to join the poker club, you can do that.
Or we do have a free server as well.
We do have a free server as well. So, all right, talk to Matt about it. You talk to me about it later.
Yeah.
Let's get the hell out of here.
There we go.
Time to go. And write it down. 2022. TheActMan.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me read them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.